started. I've been writing a list all week of things that I can include, and let's get cracking. So the first thing I wanted to share with you was this beauty. Now this I shared a little bit of on stories earlier this week, which you might have seen, which look how beautiful this fabric is. So I bought a fat quarter of this from one of my favourite places to buy fabric, Cloth and Candy, which I mentioned last week. And because my niece is called Fern, and I saw it and was like, oh, it's got ferns all over it. I need it, and I'm going to make her something amazing. So I made her something, and I made a very cute little apron with a pocket. It has a pocket, sort of camouflaged pocket. And these, I got this to make the ties for my stockings. So I had lots of this lying around. So I thought, well, let's make her an apron. It was between an apron and a skirt. And then I asked for her waist measurement. And actually, because the fat quarter came as a square rather than a long one, it would have been a bit tricky to make a skirt. So that's my little apron, which I'm really proud of. And actually I did a tutorial, my first ever tutorial. I'm a bit scared about saying it out loud. And I put it on my YouTube channel. Again, I'm quite scared about saying it out loud in case you will go and watch it. The audio is not great, but it's my first one ever and I'm quite proud of it. So if you want to make your own kids apron, then I will hopefully put the link to that somewhere and you can go and find it. So that's number one. That was really fun. That was like a little day's joy. Now then, I learned a new thing this week. I learned how to cable knit. Look at this. I've been terrified of cables, of cabling, however you say it, for years. And then because I'm knitting this lockdown blanket with my mum, and I really wanted to learn how to cable, but I didn't have a needle. So mum sent me, I think she's got, you know, one of those big tubs. She's just got tubs full of needles, like knitting needles and cable needles. So she sent me a few cable needles and I'm really pleased. And it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. So I encourage you, if you've never tried it before, I encourage you to go and try it. So this was supposed to be, I'll show you what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an ear warmer. Because my ears, anyone else's ears get really cold and then they just hurt. My ears just get sore, but as it only just doesn't quite cover my ears, the wool, I've ordered some more wool. So I'm going to make a new one. Also this wool, I've no idea where it came from or what it is, but it's quite cheap and it seems that when you stretch it, it's sort of stretched forever. So it's not particularly springy and it's gone a bit faggy. But I didn't want to throw it away because I made it and I'm proud of it, and that's my first cable knit. So that's my new thing that I learned this week. And then let's go on with knitting. We're going to go to more of my squares. So I've made another few squares this week for my lockdown blanket. For those, oh look, it matches my jumper. For those of you who don't know, I'm knitting a blanket along with my mum. So we've called it a lockdown blanket, and so she's knitting squares and I'm knitting squares, and the only thing that we've decided sort of among ourselves is to make them 5 inches square, and then we can come up with whatever design, whatever colours we want. We can and do whatever we want, and then we bring them all together when we can finally see each other and finally hug each other and sit under the same blanket. We're going to knit this big blanket together of all these squares and sit under it on the same sofa and just sort of hug non-stop, I hope. Anyway, so this is a really beautiful sort of mustard cotton. You all know I love my cotton for knitting with. Sort of like a dishcloth sort of thing. If you wanted to knit a dishcloth, this would be the sort of thing that you'd knit it out of. But I used bigger needles, which makes it sort of more open and stretchy. And this is moss stitch, I think, down there, which is, I absolutely love the texture of it. Oh, I did another one of these. This is another diamond one. I put this on the link last week. This is called seersucker, and it's got like a diamond texture, which I quite enjoy. And then I rediscovered stockinette stitch, which is you knit one row and then you purl the next row, and then you knit and then you purl, and then you knit and then you purl, and you get this gorgeous like this. So it looks like that. It gets very curly whirly, like really curly whirly, but hopefully when we sew it all together it'll all be sort of held like that. So this is, and I just went for some stripes, my lovely colours. So I'm using up, it's great for using up all your old wool that you've got lying around. I've got bags of the stuff, so hopefully it'll all be gone soon when I've knitted this blanket. I just think that stitch is so beautiful. And I did another, this is a bit of a Where's Wally one. So I've done that one as well, red and sort of white, just off white, sort of cream. Then I got inspired by the wool that I had to make a rainbow one. This was a little bit tricky though, because some of the wool is thinner than others. So this one, it's got a very thick yellow wool at the bottom, which is very funny. But that's my red, orange, yellow. Again, very curly at the edges. If anyone knows how to stop the curling, please let me know. I did try with this one. And then this one is green, blue and purple. And I did try with this one to do a couple of... Which one did I try it with? I can't find it now. Is it this one? No, not this one. Oh, it was this one. I tried doing a couple of knit stitches, like to do a border, which sort of worked, I guess. It's not quite as curly. I need to tie in all these bits. I mean, the bottom is very curly. I probably should have done a border around the edge at the bottom and the top as well, but it's less curly at the edges, which was quite good. So I guess I could do more of that. But then I just thought how sweet this little rainbow looks. Little rainbow, and they can be next to each other on the blanket. So I thought that was quite sweet. Continuing with knitting. There's lots of knitting going on at the moment. I am knitting my very first ever jumper. Never knit a jumper before. I'm loving my new jumper, which is huge, but I bought it from a charity shop and I am totally and utterly in love with it. It's amazing and it's so warm and lovely and snuggly. So I'm creating a nice warm snuggly jumper. Now, I started this before lockdown. It went quite quickly at the beginning and then it all just stopped. So and I got quite far with it and then I got a bit scared and a bit stuck. So this is the back there. Oh, isn't it lovely? I can't wait until it's done. This is the back. It's got like a bobbly sort of texture to it. It's really lovely. That's the back. And do you like my improvisation? And that's the front so far. Anyway, that's the front, and it's going to be a cowl neck thing. But then I need to continue this up here. I think I've got to put some stitches onto a different needle here, and then continue up there, and then do a cowl neck, and then attach it. But that worries me, and it scares me. So I did go into Slip Stitch, which is my local is wool and craft bonanza-y amazing shop, and ask them, and actually the next bit doesn't look too tricky, it's the bit after that. So I'm going to carry on this week and show you what I do and how I've got on. But it's got this lovely little ribbed section at the bottom, which I love, and I'm excited for it to be finished. It's actually cold now and I need to get on with it so I can actually wear it and not take another year to do it. So that's my jumper, and that is a pattern. Where's this pattern from? That's going to be the question. Oh, it's a Yarnspirations. It's a Bernat easygoing knit pullover, and this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. Isn't it lovely? I was sort of thinking I should have done it in that red, but I quite like the dark grey. So that's all the knitting. No more knitting, no more crochet, nothing, none of that. And then I wanted to show you all the stuff, the pouches that I've been making today, because Monday's my making day, and I was too productive and I packed them all up into envelopes and bags. So I can't show you them, but I'll input a little slide show of all the ones that I made today now, and have fun. Okay, so then the only other thing I wanted to share with you was I've been thinking a lot recently about wrapping and fabric wrapping. So I hate the idea that all this wrapping paper just goes into landfill, and some of it's not recyclable or doesn't biodegrade. So I really want to get into fabric wrapping presents. I don't know if you've ever seen it before. It looks beautiful and is really something that I really want to do. So we're going to do that for Christmas. I think we're going to wrap presents in fabric. So I've decided the way to go about this is second-hand fabric. So second-hand fabric and silk scarves and things that you can find in charity shops. So one of our old sheets that basically got a hole in it because we've had it for so long. And I couldn't throw. Do you know how much material there is in a sheet? Like, there's meters and meters of this stuff. So I couldn't throw it away. And then it suddenly came to me this morning on the school run that this is what I'm going to do with it. So I chopped it up into bits. So they're relatively sort of equal sizes now. This is a big one. And I'm going to hem them. I've just washed it so that the rest are out on the line. I'm going to hem them all at the edges. And then I'm going to dye some. I've seen a really cool thing where you get ice cubes and you sort of scrunch the fabric up or fold it, or I don't know, and you put it over a tray, and then you put loads of ice on top and sprinkle, like, you know, the powdery dye stuff that you stick in your washing machine, and you sprinkle that on top, and it makes the most amazing, like, tie-dye, beautiful shapes and things. So I'm thinking doing that, and then letting the kids have a go with some fabric paints and just paint how they want, and to make our own sort of fabric wrapping. So that's my other craft thing for this week, but that might not get done this week. I've got lots of things to do for Christmas and things, but that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so annoyed that I packed away my pouches, but hopefully you liked watching the little slideshow of them. And I will see you next week. Let me know what you're crafting and if you want any of the patterns or anything. And remember my tutorial for my apron. I need to go pack this up as well, and send it off to Fern so she has a little apron to wear. Oh, other thing with weight making a skirt was that she would have outgrown it, and that would have made me really sad. I know she will outgrow this, but at least she'll have more wear out of it. Right, I'm going. I need to go on the school run. Have a lovely, lovely time, a lovely day, and tell me what you're making. I want to know.